Elon is so hard to read. It's hard to see if he's going with the flow or if he's sometimes just learning something new or
I think
yeah.
I think the reason people like Elon and Joe Rogan are so popular is because they're more like the average American than anybody else with a big voice. And that is the fact that they don't have a root in any of their beliefs. And that's what allows them to be flipped around by the wind all the time. So if you listen to Joe Rogan more than once, you're like, oh, Joe Rogan doesn't agree with Joe Rogan on any given day because he has no foundational principles. And I mean, this is what allows people like Joe Rogan and Elon Musk and others like them to go, well, I supported Bernie until I supported Trump, and nothing changed about my beliefs or my structure. I've changed nothing about what I think about the world, but I was able to go from a hardcore communist to Donald Trump, and that's not weird. I don't know. Like that's how I read these people. It's like they're more like the average American. Like even though they're elites, even though they're pretty intelligent people, they have no foundational principles.
I feel like it'd be more fair to say that their foundational principles are just different than what you consider to be, like what you recognize as a foundational principle may not be what they are thinking of. Like when Joe says not to defend Joe, but just to take the counterpoint. If Joe Rogan or if anybody else, Elon Musk says, yeah, I really liked what Bernie had to say. I remember watching Bernie's speeches in 2015 when they were only about big pharma and how much insulin cost. And when it's only about those things and you're looking at one pixel on a screen, you go, hey, I like the color of that pixel without knowing the full image on the screen. And if the same pixel overlaps with another one, you go, hey, I see the same image. I'm good with that, even though the total picture may be very different. So I think like they may be looking at one or two issues and thinking, I want to disagree. I want that to happen for this issue. I want this to happen for that issue. And if two candidates both say the same thing, that may be the only thing they hear about or care about, which maybe overlap Bernie and Trump. A lot of people, it was like 11% of Bernie supporters from the primaries came over to vote for Trump in the November election of 2016. So there isn't no overlap there.
Do you think that the foundational principle then for them is just anti-establishment?
It could just be, whoever the biggest or worst bull is to send it in the China closet. It could just be that.
Because that's the only real link between someone like Bernie Sanders and Trump is they're self-funded, they're anti-establishment, they're not part of the swamp, right? I mean, essentially, even though Bernie Sanders is for like the biggest government of all time, communism, praises the Soviet Union, at least he's viewed, whether he is or not, as an anti-establishment, not part of the clique candidate. That's the only thing I could think. Like, and that it makes sense. But so maybe you're right that they have just different principles, but a lot of times it feels like Joe Rogan will disagree with Joe Rogan on foundational things where I question if he has any foundational understanding of why he thinks the way that he thinks.
Oh, I'm sure he doesn't have a lot of foundation, but he has a lot of thoughts.
He does have a lot of thoughts.
From day to day, he may choose which one he goes with.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for checking out this clip from the Last American Pubcast. And if you like it, don't just forget to like and subscribe, but come join us on a Thursday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's our new time. Hope to see you there.